NBA player props here on PrizePicks for Tuesday, January 2nd. Before I get started, you guys take a look in the description below. Hop into our premium Discord, $9.30 per month. It's where I post all the plays I'm making on PrizePicks. We also have other premium cappers in there as well. They post all of their plays, research, and analysis. Super positive community in there. Everyone just trying to help each other cash. Also want to mention I'm not a gambling expert, and this is not financial advice. Simply just the plays I'm personally looking at making. Hopefully giving you guys some insight and analysis to then make your own player prop decisions here. Again, no one's pressing submit on those parlays other than yourselves. Also, you guys, Happy New Year to everyone. Tuesday, January 2nd. I appreciate everyone that does watch these videos. I'm going to definitely try and make this channel and my Discord the best possible sports betting channel in Discord that I can possibly make it. But let's not waste any time, you guys. 2 NBA player props. It's been a while since I made an NBA video. It's just consistently been NFL. NFL been keeping me super busy. But nonetheless, 2 NBA player props that I do like from this Tuesday, January 2nd slate. We have a decent sized slate. I think 6 games on the slate here, so not a huge slate, but 12 teams playing tonight. Hopefully we get some close games here. But yeah, let's not waste any time. Let's just get right into it. So the first play is going to be a fantasy score line. It's going to be CJ McCollum over 33.5 fantasy. For CJ, we look at his last 2 games. He's over this in 2 of his last 2 and over in 3 of his last 5. And actually 2 of his worst games of the season actually have come against Memphis and Houston. Houston obviously super tough against guards defensively, and then at 26.4 here against Memphis. But over in 2 of his last 2, coming off a great game versus the Lakers 2 days ago. So very well rested. The Pelicans will be very well rested in this game here. We'll look at this matchup, Brooklyn versus New Orleans. This is a home game for New Orleans, and New Orleans is actually going to be 6-point favorites, 228.5 over under. We look at CJ McCollum. Right, and we look at his fantasy score game log this season. He's actually only gone under this line 3 games this season. Like I talked about, 2 games most recently against Memphis and Houston, and then that game against the Lakers when he finished with 21.8, which in the in-season tournament semifinal, which was just an absolute blowout. So you take away these 2 games here near Christmas, and then we take away this IST game. He's over in every single game this season, right? Which is why I think this line is just a little bit too low, and it's a great matchup. I think it really presents itself a great matchup. We look over on Outlier. Again, there's a link in the description. You get a 7-day free trial with Outlier. Currently over 23.5 points plus assists. It's minus 127. But if we just look at all of his player props, right, for CJ McCollum, like, they obviously bode well, attributing to his fantasy score. Over 1.5 steals plus blocks, minus 169, minus 175 over on Caesars to get 2 steals and blocks, which obviously correlates very, very nicely to his fantasy score line. Over 27.5 PRA, minus 120 on Caesars. Brooklyn ranks 20th against opponents, but specifically Brooklyn against guards recently. They just been getting torched. We look at fantasy score game log. This is just in the month of December. We saw actually, let's just clearing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 different guards clear 33.5 fantasy against Brooklyn just in the month of December. 15 different guards clear 30. We just need 33.6 from CJ tonight. Like a line from Jalen Brunson, 16, 7, 8, and 1 steal, 3 turnovers gets him 36.4 fantasy. So with just the way CJ operates in this offense, obviously him being the lead guard, I'm expecting him, if this game does remain close, I'm expecting no less than 32, 34 minutes tonight from CJ. And if we just look at 34.4 against the Spurs on the road, 29, 2, and 2 with a steal gets me over on this one. But even just a line of 12, 3, 7, and 4 steals, 13, 1, 6, 2, and 3. He's been able to rack up steals and blocks as well, which is what I do like attributing to his fantasy score line, right? Obviously for CJ McCollum, like I talked about his fantasy score game log this season, and his points plus assists in comparison to his fantasy score game log, he's juiced over on his points plus assists. But you can see here, he's obviously cleared this line fantasy score whenever he clears his points plus assists of 23.5, but he's cleared his fantasy score line quite a bit more times without clearing the points plus assists, right? So I mean, you can see here he had 19 points plus assists here against the Hawks and the Knicks, and he finished with 38.2 and 37.1 fantasy because of those peripheral stats, steals, blocks, etc., etc. So it's a great spot. Obviously Brooklyn gives up a ton of points to the lead guard position. And if we do get a close game, I think this is an easy over, just with the way CJ is able to rack up those peripheral stats. And on any given night, he can give us 25 points per game. We look over on Daily Grind Fantasy as well. This is a research betting tool that I do use every single day. Again, you can get a 7-day free trial in the link in the description below. Because there is no fantasy score lines on sportsbooks, DG Fantasy does all the work for you and combines all the 50-50 odds and puts them into one fantasy score line. And CJ currently has the second highest odds of any fantasy score, or actually has the highest odds of any fantasy score player on the board currently on PrizePicks to hit the over. 52.38 odds to hit. Given the sportsbook odds, he should be projected for 34. His line should be 34.4 fantasy on PrizePicks, and we get it at 33.5. So Again, great value here. Again, taking away anything else, I do like this line a ton given the matchup just solely in itself. So CJ McCollum over 33.5 fantasy score is going to be the first play. The second play here is going to be an under here, and we haven't taken too many unders. It's going to be Jeremy Sochan or Sochan or Sohan. I think it's Sohan under 22.5 PRA against the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, we've actually faded Jeremy Sochan in the Discord a few times, specifically when Wembanyama plays, and I'm going to fade him again here on the road specifically. So we just take a look at his road splits, home versus away. He averages three less points per game on the road. Shooting percentages go down significantly. Free throw goes down significantly. 3-point percentage, actually just field goal attempts, right? Volume in general goes down as well for Jeremy Sochan. All of his stats go down on the road compared to at home, just right off the bat, right? Home versus away splits are significantly less. He averages even less minutes on the road. But we look at Jeremy Sochan game log this season on the road with Victor Wembanyama. He's only gone over this line in 3 games. He's actually under in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of 12 games this season, he's under this line with Victor Wembanyama on the team. And if we even go back before this last game against Portland, where he shot 60%, which is the highest he's shot on the road so far this season, we take away this game where he shot 60% from the field, he was under this line in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight games with on the road with Victor Wembanyama. And it does present the Memphis Grizzlies do present a tough matchup, especially with Ja Morant now on the team, in the fold, in the rotation, because Jeremy Sochan obviously doesn't shoot a ton of threes, and a lot of his points do come in the middle range, in the paint, debatably, and the Memphis Grizzlies allow the third fewest points in the paint in the NBA. The third fewest. And we take a look at Jeremy Sochan, right? Less than 5 feet. He takes the third most field goal attempts less than 5 feet. And if we go to like 25 to 29 feet, his field goal attempts go all the way down here. He's near the bottom on the team. 20 to 24 feet, right? He's the fourth most, sorry. So again, Jeremy Sochan, to hit this line, in my opinion, 22.5, he's gonna have to shoot like, again, 60% from the field again tonight, which again, the volume's not just gonna be there for him. Memphis again presents a tough spot here with Victor Wembanyama in the lineup. This has a great hit rate as well. We look over on Outlier, again, link in the description for 7-day free trial. -125 over on FanDuel, DraftKings, the Caesars, and BetMGM. But again, we go back to DG Fantasy and Pinnacle, one of the sharpest sports books in the industry, and Bet Online. Pinnacle has this under 22.5 -154, right? So again, Daily Grind giving this 53.35% odds to hit the under. -154 over on Pinnacle, which in my opinion, one of the sharpest sports books in the industry. -154 to go under 22.5 PRA here. Again, tough spot for Jeremy Sochan. I think just given the way Memphis plays defense doesn't help Jeremy Sochan. Obviously, he can't really score. I mean, 0 for 2 from 3. He doesn't even take that many 3-point attempts, right? You got games with, no 3-pointers made and things like that. So again, he's going to have to shoot 60+% or better to hit this line, taking the under on this one. So Jeremy Sochan under 22.5 PRA. CJ McCollum over 33.5 fantasy. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about these two. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and as always, let's cash.